Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners. Once again, you are welcome to my channel, Literature Made Simple, where so far we have been on this journey together, trying to understand certain nitty-gritties of literature and how to make it a little simpler than it is made to seem. Now, we have been trying to understand various literary concepts or devices, or what others call figurative devices. In today's lesson, the first device that I want us to look at is not a common device, even though people use it, but the name is not so common. We call it chiasmus. Chiasmus is a literary device or a figurative device where the structure of a clause or sometimes a phrase is being reversed. In other words, we say that it is the reversal of the structure of a clause or really a phrase. Now, what I mean by reversal is that a clause is given, a statement is made. Now, the wording in the first part of the statement is reversed in the second part of that same clause. So what this means is somebody says something, and in order not to repeat the same words at both ends of the clause, the words that were used at the first part of the clause is reversed in the second part. Usually we know clauses can be as simple as just a simple sentence. It can be as complex as a dependent and independent clause, all put together to still give you a clause. Now, I would like to use an example to explain chiasmus for your understanding. Now, never let a fool kiss you or a kiss fool you. Now, first of all, I will not go so much in details about what this means, but the structure is what makes it chiasmus. The structure of the clause, the structure of the statement, or the structure of the phrase. Now, the first part of the phrase says, this clause says that never let a fool kiss you. Then the second part says that a kiss fool you. So fool kiss you, kiss fool you. You observe that the first part has fool kiss you. And then the second part, this structure of fool kiss you has been reversed to kiss fool you, which is a form of advice to people. Never let a foolish person give you a kiss. Never also become foolish by allowing someone's kiss to convince you. So that is basically what the speaker is trying to say here. But like I said, what the message the speaker wants to communicate is not so much what we mean when we talk about chiasmus, even though chiasmus contributes to making a particular statement or carrying a particular message across to your listeners, your readers, or your viewers. But what chiasmus is mainly about is the structure, the reversal in the structure. Now, when you look on the screen, I have certain examples that are there. First one is what I just explained. Laugh as if you one day hate, and hate as if you one day love. So, one day hate, laugh as if you one day hate. Then it has been reversed to hate, which is not beginning, the second part of the structure, as if you one day love. So that structure or the reverse of the grammatical structure here is what makes it chiasmus. Now we have other examples that you can get on the screen. We have, do I love you because you are beautiful, or are you beautiful because I love you? So do I love you because you are beautiful, or are you beautiful or beautiful because I love you is another example of chiasmus. So basically, when I talk about chiasmus, or when someone talks about chiasmus, the person is just talking about the situation where a structure is given and a critical analysis of the structure reveals that the wording in the structure, when I say wording, I mean the words that were used in the structure, the second part is a reversal of the first part, then we call it chiasmus. Now, On to our next device for today, likely going to be the last device for today. We are looking at hyperboles or hyperbole. People call it hyperbole, people call it hyperbole. Hyperbole or hyperbole basically means exaggeration. So certain people even refer to it as exaggeration, not hyperbole or hyperbole. I will use hyperbole mostly. Now, exaggeration here means overstatement, trying to make something look bigger, grandeur than it actually is, trying to make something appear larger than what it actually means. Then we say you are using a literary device or a figurative device called hyperbole or hyperbole. Now, it is meant to create, like to heighten. Heighten means to raise the effect, and it is done deliberately. Hyperbole is done deliberately in literature. It doesn't mean that other literary devices or figurative devices are not done deliberately. But what we mean is that sometimes, to let people feel the emotions involved, to let people feel the seriousness involved, to let your readers understand the ironic effect of what you are saying, you use hyperbole or hyperbole to present your message. Now, I want to make a reference to one lyric or one ballad by Thomas Blackburn. And if you pay attention to the ballad, there's deliberate use of hyperbole or hyperbole to make the audience understand the true nature of a particular character that he is presenting to his reader. He says that, born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free, raised in the woods, so he knew every tree in that wood. Now, it is practically impossible, even if you are born and raised in a forest, to know every tree. It's just like saying born and raised in the city, and as a result knows every human being in the city. All we are trying to say is present the person's level of familiarity with his or her environment. But Blackburn made it seem like the person actually knows every tree, which is intentional exaggeration to present the idea of familiarity, or let you, the readers, try to understand the level of familiarity that this character has with his or her environment. Like this example I gave, if you are born and raised in a city, and as a result of that, you are familiar with everybody in the city, you may not necessarily be familiar with everybody, or you may not necessarily know everyone in that city. But for a fact that you are well accustomed to the trends, the terrains of the city, you can use exaggeration to present that for people who could think deep, for people who understand the effects of the use of such device or words to comprehend what you are trying to say. Now, I have some few examples on the screen. I'll try to take one or two of them. One, I'm so hungry that I could eat a horse. I'm so hungry that I could eat a horse. Now, there's a clear difference. There is an emotional difference between I am hungry and I am so hungry that I could eat a horse. Now, if you tell someone you are hungry by making the statement, I quote, I am hungry, unquote, practically you are just passing a literal message, and the person will understand you. But maybe the person is supposed to provide you with food. The agency in the way the person will provide the food will be different from telling someone who could comprehend you that I am so hungry that I could eat a horse. Now, this second statement, which is an exaggeration, will try to put a certain level of agency in the person because you are really hungry. It doesn't practically mean that when you are presented with a full horse, you can sit and finish it. That is practically impossible. But the exaggeration creates that emotional effect of do it quickly because I am very hungry. Another example, that purse looks like it costs $1 million. Yeah, I know in the 21st century today, there could be a purse or a wallet that could cost $1 million. But this statement practically just says that that purse or wallet looks expensive. But there's also again emotional difference between this purse looks expensive and this purse looks like it costs $1 million. So adding the $1 million price tag to your statement actually presents, you try to let people understand how much or how expensive you feel that the purse is. Now, a third and final example, even though I have more than that here, is I love you to the moon and back. Now, astronauts do visit the moon, but I don't think a lover could just love you and go to the moon and come back. Practically, that is non-existent. But if you look at literally, the person trying to tell you how much love he has for you. A journey to the moon is not an ordinary one. It's not a regular one that people embark upon on daily basis. So for somebody to tell you, I love you to the moon and back, they're just trying to tell you how much he or she loves you and how much he or she is willing to sacrifice for the sake of the love that he or she has for you. Now, we have other examples of hyperbole on the screen, or exaggeration, or you can also call it overstatement on the screen. I want you to read through it, and if you have any comment, if you have any challenge, if you have any difficulty, just leave it in the comment section and I'll attend to it. Today's lesson has been based on two devices. I try to limit it to two devices so that the lesson will not be too packed for you. So you could listen within a short period, understand, clear your confusions, ask questions for me to later explain to you as and when I see your comment. So today we look at chiasmus, which is basically a grammatical structure that looks at the reversal of the structure, the second part of the structure or the clause being reversed based on what is said in the first part. Then we also look at hyperbole or exaggerations or overstatement, where people consciously exaggerate what they want to say in order to create emotional effect, to create artistic effect, to create different kinds of effect depending on the situation. Go through it, listen, read the various devices and the examples on the screen, ask questions, and I'll respond. Thank you for being part of today's lesson. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you next time in our next lesson, where we'll be taking two other very important devices. Bye bye.